Well, hello everyone. I'm back with another update here on August 30th, 2020, late afternoon. I'm on a walk here on the Tanglefoot trail, it's called. This is mile marker 42. It's 43-mile long trail in Mississippi that runs from New Albany to Houston, north-south. And I'm walking the very northern part of the trail here. It's for bikers, walkers, no motorized vehicles though obviously are permitted. So it was pretty hot earlier, but then some, as you can see, the trail is wet. Some thunderstorms moved through in the early afternoon and cooled things down considerably. And sun is back out now. So my load, I was expecting that I was just going to drop the trailer at the place, but they decided they wanted to unload me yesterday on the spot. So I did get unloaded yesterday. However, the drawback was because the rugs were all put in there, it was carpeting all put in there individually. It took them a very, very long time to unload the truck, so finally, after 6 hours sitting there, it was already 8 o'clock at night. They still weren't anywhere near done. So I unhooked and spent the night nearby, 10 miles away where I could park. Went back this morning. It is Sunday, so I decided I wasn't going to get a load out till tomorrow. There wasn't really much today going out. Nice wooden bridge. So this is an old converted railway, converted to a bike path and walking path. And it's still has the original mile markers. I passed 3:24 just before the 42 mile marker, and of course you always wonder, well, where are we 324 miles from? We're obviously, it's pretty obvious where it went down a mile walking southbound, so if it went from 325 to 324, we're likely 324 miles from New Orleans. That's what I would suspect where this rail line begins. So for the weather update, did an analysis a few minutes ago. We have Another strong area of low pressure moving through Newfoundland, Canada. Cold front off the east coast of the U.S. Bringing some cooler and drier air into the northeastern part of the U.S. Bringing lots of rain, brought lots of rain to Quebec, St. Lawrence Valley, New Brunswick, far northern Maine, and Nova Scotia, as well as Newfoundland, got a good dose of rain from the system before it exited. We have another low pressure on its heels, moving east, crossing northern Alberta. Another strong low pressure. This is sending a cold front down through Manitoba, bringing some rain to that region, down into North Dakota as well, bringing some thunderstorms to the Dakotas, brought some thunderstorms, now moving into Minnesota. We'll be moving down into the Great Lakes, bringing some cooler air into that area in the next few days, along with some showers and thunderstorms as the system heads east. It's going to bring cooler air into the U.S., to the northern tier. You have yet another low pressure on its heels, moving through the northern Gulf of Alaska. This is bringing a lot of rain to southern Northwest Territories in Canada. It's going to be bringing considerable amount of rain to British Columbia as well, even down toward Vancouver. This one may take a bit more southerly of a track and will likely reinforce the cooler air into the U.S. next week as it goes east. And we come into September. So September is going to get off to a cool start over much of the eastern U.S. Over the west, the ridge is going to remain in place. And so warm temperatures are going to continue for the foreseeable future in that region. Over Europe, we have a low pressure moving through eastern France that brought heavy rains to northern Italy, down as far south as Rome, along the front that this system produced. And also into Austria, Romania, Germany picked up some rain as the system moved on east, and part of a bigger system that moved through the Baltic Sea into eastern Russia, bringing some showers to that region as well. And we have another yet recurring low moving through eastern Mongolia. It's going to give some more rain, bringing some more rain to eastern China, northeastern China, as that heads on east. So especially over North America, we have 3 low pressure systems right now affecting Canada, so things are picking up as we head toward fall. In the southern hemisphere, they're heading towards spring. New Zealand, looks like the South Island picked up some more snow showers Not a big system, but they did. They continue to have cool temperatures. Australia, looks like they've gotten a bit of a break from the weather. They're starting to warm up a bit. No real systems affecting them right now. South America, some very cold air being pumped northward from Antarctica by a low pressure to the east in the Atlantic. So they're very chilly in southern South America. Chilly air mass in place. Similar with South Africa, a low in the southern Indian Ocean, another huge low pressure with a front extending thousands of miles across the Indian Ocean has made it all the way up toward Uganda and Africa. The northern end of it is bringing some cold air into southern Africa. The tropics, we have a weak system moving into the eastern Caribbean, a weak tropical wave, not developing into anything at the moment. Another wave developing in the northeastern Gulf, which they're thinking is going to cross Florida, develop into something when it gets into the Atlantic. We'll see. That has to be watched. But right now, it's just a cluster of thunderstorms. It looks like just a wave of low pressure, and it's at the southern end of that front. From that low up over eastern Canada. So that is projected to move across northern Florida, dump some heavy rains, and then move offshore after that to the east. Pretty much the rest of the Atlantic is quiet right now. There's several other weak tropical waves moving westward, but none of them are at the moment developing. The Eastern Pacific, same story. We have some tropical waves there, but nothing, again, is really developing into anything significant there. The Western Pacific, we do have a tropical storm developing to the east of the Philippines. However, this is moving more in a northerly direction. It does not look like it's going to impact the Philippines. It looks like it's heading up toward Okinawa, Japan right now, and it could impact them in the next couple days with some wind, heavy rain, possibly typhoon conditions if it develops into a typhoon. Okinawa will have to get ready for that possibility. It's heading in that direction. It is a pretty large system. And eventually, probably southern Japan will have to watch that system. The rest of southern Japan, as it's probably going to hook more northeastward in time once it passes Okinawa. In India, the monsoons are definitely winding down. They're very much reduced in coverage. The convection is now shifting, as it usually does in the fall, to south of the India in the ocean, Indian Ocean. Most of the convection is developing to the south of India now, out over the waters. There's still a few pockets left. One over, again, it seems like Bangladesh is continuing to get dumped on with more rain in that region. Another pocket over Laos, northern Laos, and then one other one over northwestern India, bringing some very heavy rains. It's probably going to move into Pakistan. They're going to get more flooding. from that area as it moves west. And Central Africa continues to get lots of heavy convection through there. So they're getting some heavy rains over Niger, northern Nigeria. But again, this does not necessarily mean we're going to have a busy hurricane season. As these systems come out into the Atlantic, they're not developing into anything. And even Laura developed, only 24 hours before coming ashore in Louisiana. But my take on that, again, as I mentioned in previous videos, was a sudden uptick in solar wind. And I don't believe that was a coincidence. It happened right at the time the system developed. Solar wind has been a little more elevated. That could be contributing to the development of the system in the Western Pacific, and I'm looking to see if there's going to be a correlation. Now the solar wind isn't spiking, however, like it was when Laura. This has been more of a gradual development with this system. It has not suddenly exploded. And I've looked at the solar wind, and it's kind of fluctuating. It's up just under 500. It's kind of going up and down, a lot of fluctuations in it. It seems to be running a bit higher than it was yesterday, so perhaps that could be the reason that system in the Western Pacific is trying to form into something right now. But pretty much, again, globally, that is the only system that has any signs of development right now. And we are in the peak of the season, or coming into it. And this is in line with my prediction of an inactive season. I know some will dispute that and try to say it's been a record season, but I've explained in previous videos that there's a lot of spin to that. I also saw a news article, ice on Hudson's Bay has finally completely gone out, I think as of last week, which is very late. And with Hudson's Bay water being still very chilly, it is going to have implications on the weather in New England coming fall. With Hudson's Bay not as warm, it's going to influence perhaps bring fall in a bit earlier than usual, and it may not be as wet as it usually is, because cooler water means less evaporation, less moisture when the wind blows from that direction, which it does quite a bit of the time in New England. Hudson's Bay is a big influencer on New England weather. Very few talk about that, but it's a huge body of water. And if that freezes up earlier than usual, it brings an onset of winter in the Northeast sooner. Because Arctic air coming from that direction no longer gets modified. So, that is it with the weather update. This is certainly a beautiful trail and gives you a taste of what Mississippi looks like. It's generally flat, but parts of it are quite beautiful, wooded. And this trail goes through a number of small towns as you continue south on it. It goes through like 5 different towns. There are places to eat in each town, lodging in a couple of them. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this excursion down the I think it's the Tanglefoot Trail in Mississippi.